Sri Dakshinamurti Stotram by Bhagavan Sri Adi Shankaracharya. We have been studying the deity Dakshinamurti, then the Dhyana Slokas and the Dakshinamurti, then the Mool Stotram. We have studied the first 7 or 8 slokas in the last classes. Now the remaining 3 slokas we will try to finish it today. In the first 3 slokas of the Sri Dakshinamurti Stotram, we found the idea of the Vedantic Mahavakya, Tattvamasi. Tattvam and Tattvamasi was given in the first, second, and the third sloka. The fourth sloka, there was a wonderful idea of, like this in pictures Sri Ramana Maharshi's, and the example of a Nana Chidra Ghata, like a Ghata pot which has many holes. Through that, the light within, the lamp within, the light is being dispersed outside. This is how the consciousness emanates from everywhere, but its source is within, and it illumines the Jagrat, Swapna, and Sushupti. That was in the fourth sloka. Then in the fifth sloka it came how different people of wrong understanding, they get very wrong idea of the reality. Many have doubts, or they do not know the reality, they do not believe, they deny. Those things were given in the fifth sloka. In the sixth and seventh, the sixth sloka, it came how in the state of Sushupti, during Sushupti also, the same consciousness, Brahman, it is ever present. That was given in the sloka, sixth sloka, with the example of Rahu Ketu eclipse, solar or lunar eclipse. Seventh sloka, it came the idea of the in the other 2 states, means the state of Jagrat and Swapna. Sixth was given in the Rahu Ketu solar or lunar eclipse, the state of Sushupti. And the seventh sloka it gave the idea of the Dakshinamurti, means the Brahman, the Adi Devat, Adi Guru, and Atman, the state of Jagrat and Swapna, where activities are there. Mental activities in Swapna and physical activities in Jagrat. Now in the 8th sloka, last few slokas, 8th, 9th mainly, the sloka that will show the state of a Brahma Jnani. One is known this knowledge. One has realized this truth. How that person relates to the world, how that person sees the world. And because that is a natural state for a Brahmagani, for a realized soul, that's why this 8th and 9th sloka also, these are the sadhanas, paddhatis, how we common people, we need to practice these ideas so that that which is natural, true, naturally true for a realized soul, those things has to be sadhana, practices, spiritual practices for other people, for spiritual aspirants. Like in Gita, Gita, Bhakti, Yoga, those the qualities of a realized person. The same qualities are sadhana for a normal person. So this 8th and 9th sloka will show the state of Brahmagani, which will also be sadhana for another as normal person. We have started the 8th sloka, read the last class. We'll complete it today. The 8th sloka says, Vishwam pashyati karya karanataya Swami Bhantah Shishyacharya Taya Tathaiva Pitriputradyatmana Edatah. It says that Vishwam Pashyati, who sees this universe, how? As Karya Karanataya, as a cause and effect. Karya the effect and Karya is the cause. In giving example of that, cause and effect, one is Swami Bandhataha, Sambandhataha. Swa person and his Swami means his master. master and servant, their relationship, and in relation to Shishya Acharya Taya, and also in the relation of teacher, disciple, and teacher. Tathaiva, and also Pitri Putradi, father and son, and etc. Atmana Bhedataha. All these are only difference in Atman only. It is within this. Appears all the difference is within Atman only, not elsewhere. How again he says, Swapne Jagriti Vaya Yesha Purusha Maya
पुरुषो
Paribhramita.
परिभ्रमितः तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये
Tasmai Guru Murtaye Nama Idam
नम इदं
Sri Dakshina
श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये
Murtaye.
मूर्तये
Means who sees all these in the waking and dream state. Swapna Jagrati. Vaya Yesha Purusha. This person, due to what? Due to Maya. Maya Paribhramita. This is due to Maya only. All these changes. The same Atman. It appears to be in Bheda, in divided, appears to be in Acharya, in Shishya, in teacher, and disciple, in father and son, in master and servant. Same one single Atman, one without the two Atman, appears to be divided in Swapna state, in mental state, and the Jagrata in physical state. And in Sushupti, there is nothing to be differentiated. That time only Ananda of bliss of Ajnana is still there. So in all other states, the same one single Atman appears to be divided in this two and this duality and multiplicity. Salutations unto him, to Dakshinamurti, who is in the form of my own teacher. So in very short, he says here, Vishwa of this world, Pashyati, see, Bheda differently, Atman as oneself, as a Karya Karana, Swami, master, Sambandha connection, and whether in Shishya, whether in Acharya, whether in Tathaiva in Pitri, Putra, Ittadi, etc. So this is a profound statement of the vision of Brahma Jnani. Brahma Jnani, when he sees this world, he always knows that whether whatever the differences we see, it is the source and base is only one. Like a marichika. When we see a marichika here in the desert, marichika means when in the desert, in the summer season, we see water outside, but we go near, we see there is no water, it is only dry and dry up. So that is called marichika. And there, when a person knows after seeing that, in future also again he will see. When again he'll walk in the desert, again he'll see in different places the water is there. Like we also see in the summer season when we walk in the streets. In the streets we see in the that street itself. And far away, a little bit, water is there on the street. But when we go near the water in the street, we see no, there is no water. There is only plain road, dry road alone. Same also we see together. But again, after knowing this also, again we see the same thing. So similarly, when we see the same thing, but we have the idea that is this duality or this water is not there, but it appears to us in a senses. But in reality, there is no this thing is never there. So this knowledge is always with us, like in Marichika, like in this state of in the summer in the road. Similarly, for Brahmagani, you will also see in the world these different relationships of Shishya, Acharya, Pitri, Putra, Swami, and etc. differences. But we'll always know, like this is only the differences of Atman, is the only one which appears to be many. It's not real reality many. It is reality in one only, which appears to be many. But an ignorant person, he will think that it is really many. This is the difference of a vision of Brahmagani and ignorant person. Like on a rajju, on a rope, when we see a snake, ignorant person will see that really snake is there. But one who has known that, he will know, no, this is not snake, but due to the less of light, due to this condition there, it appears to be snake, but it is not snake. It is reality Lok alone. So this is the difference. The ignorant will see what he sees. He will think that has to be the reality alone. This duality is alone. That is true. But a Brahmagan, he will know that non-duality, that oneness alone is to be true. The diversity is, though it appears to us, to our senses, but it is only not a reality. It is the appearance alone. It is the difference is within the Atmana Bhedata. Difference is within Atman. So why this difference comes? He says whether in a Swapna state or in the Jagrata state, Jagrata in the physically and Swapna in mentally we think, says that Swapne Jagrati Vaya Esha Purusha Maya Paribhramita. This Purusha, this person, whether in a Jagrata state or whether in Swapna state, he through Maya means the creative capacity of Brahman. The Desha Kala Patra. The time space causation is Maya. Swamiji says, Swami Vivekananda in his Jnana Yoga practical Vedanta lectures, that Maya is the statement of fact, what we appear to see, appear to perceive, appear to know through the senses, whatever as it is, whichever as it is, that is Maya, but that is not the final truth of that thing. So that's why it is called Maya, this creative capacity, it is power of creation, Maya Paribhramita. It is all projected, like projected, or Rajju is projected as snake. The rope is never converted to snake, but it appears to be, as a statement of fact, it is as it is, appears to be snake due to this time to space causation. This is Maya. This projected is manifested. Not really, it is changed. Really, it is always the rope, but to us, it appears to be snake. So this idea, whether in Swapna, in the mental state, and Jagrat in the physical state, whatever we see, this changes or this diversity, this duality of Swami, Acharya, Shishya, and Putra, Pitra, like any other diversity, duality, whatever we perceive in this world, this is appears to be due to this Maya, but in reality, only one remains. There is no two, never is two. So for a Brahmavali, this is very natural. You know very truly that there's only one remains. Everything duality is, though it appears to be dual, it is really non-dual. For him, it is natural, but for us, the ignorant person, it is not natural. That's for ignorant person. This is the spiritual sadhana. This is the spiritual practice for the spiritual aspirant. This is the way we have to, when we see this world, we have to think this and we have to try this and to apply this in our day-to-day life by the grace of Guru. Tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye Nama Idam Sri Dakshina Murtaye. The one who is the Brahma Jnani, who sees the oneness of all. Unto that, Tasmai, this idam, this salutation Namaha, who is in also in the form of my own Guru, Sri Guru Murtai, as well as the form of Sri Dakshina Murti. So, by the grace of the Guru, we also, the other person also, the ignorant person also, can come to see this truth face to face one day, someday. That's why we have to believe and have Shraddha in the word of Guru and have to practice this. That in reality, this is only the one form alone, the form of Ishwar Atman, Guru. Alone is there, which appears to be all these different things which we perceive in this world, good and bad, so many things we perceive, happiness, sorrow, and all these dualities. But it is only our own Atman or Ishvara or Guru. He only is playing here, and it is his will, or through my prarabdha, or through the will of Ishvara, it appears to be all these dualities, and sometimes it gives me happiness, sometimes it gives me sorrow. So many things happens to me. But isn't it this one and one alone? It is He, His Guru, or Atman or Ishvara, one and same only. It appears to be this duality or diversity. The Atman and Brahman, Parabrahman is the same, which is called the Nirguna Nirakara, and that same Nirguna Nirakara Brahman, when appears to be Saguna, he is called Ishvara. The same Nirguna Nirakara, when he is Saguna and Nirakara, he is called Ishvara. And the same Saguna Nirakara Ishvara, when he appears to be a Sakara, Saguna Sakara, then he is called Guru. Because we cannot perceive Nirguna Nirakara, that's why he appears to us in Saguna Nirakara in a state of mental state. And that also when we fail to perceive, he comes in a very open way to us as a Guru who is a Saguna Sakara form of the same Brahman. So they are not different. Ishvara is Saguna Nirakara and Guru is Saguna Sakara and Atmana Brahman is Nirguna Nirakara. These three are not different. These are one and same. Only appears to be different and he comes to us because we fail to perceive the subtle aspect of Ishvara or the Brahman Atma. That's why he takes the form of the Sakara form, Saguna Sakara form, in a form of our Guru, Sri Dakshinamurti, or our own Guru. And then he gives us this knowledge, and we have to have Shraddha in Guru's Vakya words that Guru alone, or Ishvara alone, Atman and Brahman alone, is manifesting in this whole world, Ishvara as this Jiva and Jagat, and all these diversities, and he is alone doing this play. But in reality, he alone is there. There is no second, there is nothing second to there. Only he alone is there. This is a great truth given. There is a vision of Brahmagani which is natural to them, but for us, this has to be the sadhana. We have to be always and always practice whenever we think that duality is real. We have to again and again hammer ourselves. No, our Guru has said duality is not real. The non-duality is alone real. Ishvara or Guru or Atman alone is real. All these changes, all this happiness, all these changes in the world are not real. They are like a swapna, only dream, and they are due to my prarabdha samskara or due to the will of Ishvara alone. So now in the ninth verse, another verse is saying, this is emphasizing this thing again. We have read the deity of Dakshinamurti earlier. Ashtamurti Vrit. Ashtamurti Vrit is formed of eight. First of the Bhu, the earth, then mentioning the Ambhasi, waters, then the Anala, the fire, then the Anila, the air or wind, then the Ambaran, the space. So Khiti, Aptej, Marudram, five Panchamahuti says Khiti is the Bhu, the earth. Khiti up is Ambhasi, the waters. Khiti Aptej, Tej is Anala, the fire. Khiti Aptej, Marut. Marut is Anila, the air, wind. Then Vyom. Vyom is Ambaram, the space. So this five Panchamahabhut and Ashtamurti Vrit is made of eight. So this five and there's the sixth is the Ahara Natha. Natha means master and Ahara is day. So who is the master of the day? When we call it a day and when we call it a night, night is the time when the sun is not there, sun has been set. And day is called the time when sun rises, when sun is there. So means by sun only we analyze which is day or night. That means the sun is the master of the day. So by this Aharanatha, the master of the day, it means the sun. This is a very poetical way he is mentioning. The master of the day is the sun. We remember in the Dakshinamurti deity is in the form. One side that moon is there, another side the sun is there in his crown. In the crown, we can see the right side of the crown, the sun is there. Left side of the crown, the moon is seen. Crescent moon is seen. Also, for any person, also it is said that the right eye, the sun is in the right eye, and the moon is in the left eye. So this wonderfully symbolically is mentioned here. The Ahranatha, the means sun, is another form of the Ashtamurti Bhrit. Then Himanshu. Himanshu is the moon, which is we saw in the either in the left eye or in the crescent moon in the Sri Dakshinamurti deity. Left side, the crescent moon is there. So sun and moon, right and left eye, or on the crown, right side and left side, sun and moon is mentioned. Arnatha, sun, and Himanshu, the moon. Then the fifth, eight, last one, eight is Puman. Puman means a person. In this context, it means consciousness. So Ashtamurti Bhrit is this five Pancha Mahabhuta, sun and moon, and then the consciousness, the Chaitanya, Chaitanya Shakti. So this together makes Ashtamurti Bhrit. It means that in this whole world, this universe, this existence, everything is composed of this alone. In fact, when you say the Pancha Mahabhuta along with the consciousness, then alone all these things comes. Pancha Mahabhuta with consciousness, everything else comes. And because sun and moon, there's Aharnath and Himanshu also comes within this. But for the poetic idea, poetic expression, wonderful expression in this form of Dakshinamurti, this sun and moon also is given in a poetic form. That's why in total it made the eight form. He says Murti form, Murti Ashtakam, the form of eightfold form. Idam. Idam everything, Chara and Achara. This, that whatever moves is Chara, whatever doesn't move is Achara. Iti Abhati, it appears. So the Dakshinamurti who is in Parabrahman, Nirguna Nirakara, the same appears through this Saguna, Brahmaneshwara, and becomes this Saguna Sakara, all this through this Ashtamurti Brit, Kiti Aptej Marudbham, sun, moon, and this through his consciousness. And through that only, whatever this moves in this world and whatever doesn't move in this world, everything is his form only. Nothing is apart from him. This is another way of saying that the vision of Brahma Gyani. In the Veda it is said, Sarvam Khaluidam Brahma. All this is Brahman alone. This is the vision of Brahma Gyani. He sees, in the, like in the earlier sloka it was given, the Brahma Gyani sees that non-duality alone. Wherever he perceives duality, like Acharya Shishya, Pita Putra, and master servant, though he sees this duality, like in Marichika, but he knows, but the only that non-dual Atmana, Brahman is manifesting through that. Here is asserting that truth. That Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, whatever appears to be moving and non-moving, it is a form of this Dakshinamurti Brahma, which is made of this so-called this Ashtamurti Brit, these eight forms. And this is also our sadhana again, because that which we said, that which is natural to Brahmagani, this is our sadhana. In the Veda also it is given in Atharva Veda, in Ganapati Atharva Upanishad, Svam Bhumi Rapa Anala Anila Nabha, that says that you, Ishvara, you Brahman, you are Earth, you are Bhu, you are Apa, you are Vacha, you are fire, you are Anala, you are air, you are Anila, and your space, your Nabha. So, this Pancha Mahabhuta is already given in Ganapati Atharva Upanishad in Atharva Veda. And here in Ashtamurti Bit, it has been added, and the Chaitanya Shakti, Puman, the Chaitanya, that also is given in a poetical sense. It has been mentioned there. And he is remembering that everything, whatever has been seen in this world, is a form of Brahman alone. Sarvam Khaluidam Brahma. Naturally, the Brahmagani sees that, and for us, spiritual aspirant, it is has to be the sadhana. This eightfold form, Ityabhati Chara Achara Atma Kamidam Yasya Eva Murtyashtakam, includes all the forms that appears Abhati, to whether it moves or that doesn't move, so that everything is God and God alone. There is nothing else. Nothing else in the world. Everything, whatever moves, whatever doesn't move, whatever we can think, everything is God alone. Brahmagani sees that naturally, knows that naturally. For us, we have to practice it again and again. Whenever we fail to perceive that, fail to believe that, we forget that, and we have to remind ourselves again. Everything is a form of God. Nanyat kinchana vidyatu vimrishatam yasmat paras nibha vibhu. Like in Gita also it is said that for a Brahmagani sees God alone everywhere, in a chandala, in a elephant, in a brahmana, in a dog, everywhere he sees the same that reality. So this is very important. Sri Ramakrishna says that Apo Narayana, that all what it is Narayana. Like the Narayana is everywhere, that Bhag Narayana and Mahut Narayana, Hathi Narayana, etc. Everywhere Narayana is there. But during the practice application, we have to remember these differences. It doesn't mean that because everything is he only, we have to act also in same way to everybody and each body. No, it's not like that. Like apanarana, some water we can use for drinking, some for washing, some for cleaning, some for bathing, some for puja. The same water cannot be used for all the purposes. Different water can be used for different purposes. Though all the water is Narayan alone. Similarly, so all these things are Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. We know that everything is Brahman, but we have to act accordingly. Bhag Narayana, Mahut Narayana, Hathi Narayana, we have to act accordingly. We should not act the same way to each and everybody. That is different. So he says, Be Marishata, those who understand this truth. Yasmat, other than that, Parasmat, Supreme, Vibhu, this all pervasive being. No, Anyat, anything, Kinchana else vidyate. So the one who knows this, that is Vibhu, this all pervasive being, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, this alone only is there. No, nothing else exists. He is the person who understands really. He says, this is the Drishtya Brahmagani. He only knows that that pervasive means he only pervades everything, he only manifests everything, projects everything through his Maya. Nothing else exists apart from him. This is the final truth he sees, and this is the truth we have to take it by Shraddha and try to apply in our day to day life always and always, again and again. But we have to act according to the nature of things. We need not act in the same way. That foolishness should not be done. That apanarayana, according to the need, we need to act differently. But in mind, in our reality, we need to know the truth that is the same thing which appears to be many. This unity has to be there in the back of the mind, and through that, in the difference in the world, we need to act. So he ends this Tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye Nama Idam Sri Dakshina Murtaye. The Brahman who is manifested as Murtyashtakam, this eightfold form, Ashtamurti Bhrit, and one who recognizes it, and to that Tasmai, this Idam, salutation Namaha, who is in the form of my own Guru as well as in the form of Sri Dakshinamurti. Now we come to the last sloka of Sri Dakshinamurti Stotram, which is called the Falasruti. In different hymns, Tava Stotra, in Sanskrit, we will find that the last sloka many times it mentions the benefit of study, which is also called Mahatmya. Like Gita, sometimes Gita Mahatmya is there, or in different places, other stotras, the Falasruti Mahatma, what is the Mahatma of this, or what is the benefit Falasruti? When you listen to this or you utter this, what are the Phala? What are the results you will obtain? Or what are the Mahatmyas? What is the greatness of this scene or this idea which has been conveyed by these earlier slokas? This is also another profound sloka which shows, emphasizes the which sadhana we need to do. Earlier two slokas, 8 and 9, it mentioned that the state of Brahmagani, and it reminds us that we also need to practice this again and again and again. That has to be a sadhana. And in this sloka, the last Shruti sloka, he mentions specifically what that sadhana has to be there for us. He is mentioning this sadhana to us, that what needs to be the sadhana. This is a very important one. He says that sarvatmatvam miti sfutikritamidam yasmat musmins stave tenasya sravanat tadartha mananat dhyanatcha sankirtanat sankirtanat सर्वात्मत्वं महाविभूति सहितं स्यात् ईश्वरत्वं स्वतः सिद्ध्येत् तत् पुनः रष्टधा परिणतं च ऐश्वर्य व्याहतम्. He says here, amusmin that in this, amusmin in this, which this tava, in this hymn, in this stotra, Dakshinamurti stotra, in this tava, in this praise of Sri Dakshinamurti, idam, what he says that idam in this is sfutikritam. Sfutikritam means it is made clear. It has been given in details. What iti? That is sarvatmatvam, the state of being the self of all, the sarvam khalvidam brahma, that I alone exist and I alone manifest as this duality, this idea that I alone is there in the everything. I or the self, Ishvara, and Atman, Guru alone is there. Nothing else is there. Everything, whatever all we see, duality, many things we see, it is the manifestation of myself, means my Guru or my Atman, my Brahman. The Brahman alone is manifested there. Yasmat, because Tena, by that, Asya, of this, how it happens, what we need to do for that, to know this, that myself, so this important thing he is mentioning here, that Syat, what would become of out of that when you do this Ravana, Manana, Nidhyasana, and Sankirtana, means study yourself or study, teach with to others. Swata, your own. Ishwaratvam, your own state of being Ishvara. Sahitan, along with the Maha Vibhuti, the great glory of this Sarvatmatvam, the state of being the self of all, will arise to you or arrive to you. You'll achieve this state or ascend this state. State of Sarvatmatvam, you'll know that in truth, Sarvam Khalidam Brahma, you alone, or the self, or Atmanam Brahman alone is manifested everywhere. There's nothing second to that. So you'll know this very truth. And also, you'll have the Maha Vibhuti, the great glory. Whatever the Vibhutis, the Vibhutis will be given here uh, now only. That whatever Vibhutis will come, and the state of Ishwaratvam also you will achieve. What is the state of Ishwaratvam? Means I am Ishvara. But here it is not that meaning when we say Aham Brahmasmi, it doesn't mean our ego, that this ego is small ego, that I am Brahman. It doesn't mean that. It means that which is beyond the ego, the higher self, that is Brahman. This ego which is manifests only from the our ajnana, which we saw in the Ramana Maharshi's this diagram, that number 5 is that is the ahamkara, and the 2 is the slip. That's why in the state of sushupti we do not know that anything. We only know I am happy because in the state of sushupti you are always happy with this. You alone are there. The flame alone is there. But this 5 is the ego ahamkara. So this ego is not Ishvara. When he says that aham brahmasmi or I am Ishwaratvam, it's not calling about this 5 because in the sushupti state it is not there. Due to this ego number 5, you see the Sukshma Sharira and also later on the Sthula Sharira. This you see this word. But when he sees that I am Ishvara, I am Brahman, that I is the form of this self. This is the sum of flame, which is number 1, which is the Puma Chaitanya Shakti. That is, you see. So that is a higher self, When we Sri Ramana Maharshi, he realized his own self in the age of 17. He was very in the house, he was alone, and all of a sudden he had a very fear of death. And in that state of fear, he tried to find out what is the remedy for this because there was no doctor, nobody else there. And though he was very healthy that time, but all of a sudden it happened due to Ishvara, will of Ishvara or due to his prarabdha, and he found out and that his body is dying, as it were, his senses is dying. He found out that this I, which I we call as I, that I am a doctor, I am a man, I am a woman, I am an engineer, all this which we identify I with ourselves. This I is also dying with the body, means this ahamkar is dying. But he realized that time, but though this small I or this ahamkara, this I is dying, but there is a greater some other I. Now it is being manifested, unlike anahata dhani from inner. When this outer I, big I, this fat I, or this ahamkara is dying, then the real I, which is like a flame inside, can be heard. Really, the I am there, I am there, I am Brahmasmi, I am the Ishvara. So he's talking of this inner eye of flame. This alone, this is Brahman, this is Atman, this is Ishvara, this is Dakshinamurti. So when he's talking here, that Ishvaratam Prapti in this sloka, he's speaking of this idea of that I am being Ishvara means that flame, not this Ahamkara I. He's speaking of with that time we know that I am that same I through which this body is being manifested and also this world is being manifested. ঈশ্বরে জীব জগৎ হয়েছেন. So that I, through that I, this our smaller, my smaller I, my ahamkara and my this sukshma sharira, sthula sharir being manifested, that's from Chaitanya I, and from that Chaitanya, that real I, also this world, this jagat also is being manifested. Sarvam Kalidam Brahma, that I am the self of all. Sarvatma, that bigger self, that higher self, that is Ishvara, and that I know that I am that. So this realization happens. So this is the final realization through Sravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, because Sarvatmatvam is revealed in the scene together with your efforts of Shravan, Manana, Nididhyasana, and also Sankirtana, by repetition, recitation again and again, and by teaching this to others, conveying this truth to others. What would become Syat is you discover your own Swata state of being Ishvara, the state of our own being. Now comes the Mahavibhuti. What Mahavibhuti said that you'll get this? He said that Siddhayet tat punaha ashtadha pariratam cha Ishvarem vyahatam. Siddha means he creates. Tat punah, then again, this ashtadha, eightfold. Parinatam, this transformation of blessings of powers. Cha again, the Aishwaryam, the lordship, ship of Vyahatam, without any impediments, without any obstacles, with eight folds, Vibhuti, the power, which is given in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra also, in the Yoga Darshan, you gain these powers also. But these powers also only given in as a Falastruti. It doesn't mean that you utilize these powers or it is out of Ishwar's will, whether you need to utilize or not, because Brahmagani doesn't need all these things. When Sri Ramakrishna asked Swamiji that I have some siddhis, but I cannot use that, I'll give it to you. Through that, you can do great works. Swamiji said, no, I don't need that. Let me first realize myself, my truth of myself. Then, if it is required, Lord will arrange accordingly. So here also it is said that you will get these powers, but it's not for us to use it. It is Ishvara's God, Ishvara's will, whether He wants that to be manifested to us. Let's going there. And then is Mahima. Mahima is the opposite. When He ability to expand infinitely large. Same also He did that during crossing Lanka. That Mahima He become very large. Then Garima, capacity to become extraordinarily heavy. That also is showed in Lanka. very heavy, the others cannot lift him. Then Laghima is opposite. Power to become incredibly light. This is the opposite of that. Very light. Again, same showed by him again, Sri Hanumanji. Then Prapti. So that's why similarly when a Brahmagyani is Sarvatmatvam, he has Ishvaratvam, he knows that I am the self of all. I am only manifesting everything as everything. He doesn't need these vibhutis, these eightfold vibhutis of Anima, Mahima, Garima, Laghima, Prapti, Prakama, Ishitva, Vashitva. That's why Thakur Sri Ramakrishna said that I don't use this. And to Swamiji he said, I may give you. Swamiji, but also he said that I don't need them. Let me first realize myself. So that is it is only as a falashruti it is given and it is not required. But if it is required by for Lord's work, like Sri Hanumanji required it, first all this spiritual practice he may begin. And with this spiritual practice, when his chitta shuddhi happens, later on he'll find that he doesn't require these small things, small powers. He has infinitely more wealthy treasure of Sarvatmatma, Ishwaratma, that I am the self of all. I don't need this. In Bhagavan Buddha also it happened. Some other Kshatriya came to him and he said that if I know your knowledge which you teach me, I can get to the Swarga and I can have the love and all the praise of the Apsaras, the divine beings there. I can have very good time with them. He said, all right, if you practice all these things, you'll have many pleasures. You can have many good experiences. And that person, it started his spiritual practice not for nirvana, but to get the higher pleasures of this Swarga and Apsaras and all this beings. He began his practice with that. But as an soon he started practicing with time, what happened? That when his chitta shuddhi happened and he came to know the higher and higher truth, later on he found that this happiness, this pleasure of this apsaras and things are very small, very negligible. In fact, the truth of this nirvana, the peace of nirvana is still higher. Then he left those that wanting his the aspirations for this apsaras and swarga, and he strived for nirvana. So this is the way this falasruti it aspires us. When we initially we do not aspire for the highest truth, he gives us this lower truth, like this Ashtabhibhuti. You will give this have these powers. And small people, due to this attraction of greed of this power, is eight vibhutis, he may aspire to this do this spiritual sadhana. But when he starts his sadhana, once with Chitta Shuddhi, he'll come to know still higher truth is there, and then he'll leave the small things, hankering after small things, and he'll go for Brahman, and he know that Brahman later on, Ishvatvam, I am the self of all, Sarvatmatvam, that Ishvara, Guru, and Atman is one and same, and he is the Dakshinamurti truth alone. So with this, we finish this study of the Dakshinamurti Stotram in the 8 classes. As the Ashtamurti bit, we finished it. And let us ourselves practice Shravana, Manana, Nidhyasana, Sankirtana, and try to imbibe this truth in our own life. So now, if any questions, we'll end it with the uh, Purnamadam Stotra, the Vedic mantra from Ishavasya Upanishad, Yajurveda. But before that, if any questions or any observations on any ideas to be there in the last 5 minutes, anybody
Maharaj,
can
I
ask.
couldn't understand the first diagram. I couldn't understand the diagram.
The diagram we the last class we explained that in details. We'll come here once more in the diagram. This is the most famous diagram showed by Sri Ramana Maharshi in his self-enquiry book. It is given. Here is showing, you see that number 1 is the flame, number 2 is the sleep. You see the sleep is like a door is opening halfway is open. Number 3 is the doorway, which is called the Mahat, the principle of that Ahamkar, which is given in the Sankhya Yoga Tattva and Vedanta Tattva, through which you come to know the manifested universe. This number 4. Number 4 is the inner wall of ignorance is avidya or ajnana. Number 4. Number 5 is this crystal mirror is the ego, that is the ahamkara, which is the lower I, the I, which we say, I'm doctor, engineer, I'm a man, a woman, this I. Then the 6, number 6, these holes are the windows. Windows means these are sense organs. These are 5 senses, pancha gyanendriyas. Then number 7, number 7 is the inner chamber, which is the causal body of Karana Sharira during the sleep. This is the number 7. Then number 8 is the middle chamber, which is the subtle body, Sukshma Sharira during the dream state, during the Swapna state. This is the number 8. Then number 9. Number 9 is the open courtyard outside, which is the physical body, the Sthula Sharira in the waking state. So this means the inner chamber and the middle chamber together with the open courtyard represents the individual jiva. Then what we see the inner chamber is the state of Karana Sharira. Karana Sharira, which is covered by the avidya, ajnana, number 4 and number 7. Inner chamber, there is a Karana Sharira.